soon. But there we go.
Yes.
We're now on the YouTubes of the internets, of the tubes or something. Don't know.
It's a series of tubes. It's not just one.
Yeah.
It's many.
I've been told it's a series.
That would be ridiculous if it was just one tube. Now, come on. Let's be sensible. It's many tubes. It's at least 3.
At any rate, welcome to Shooting the Shit number 122.
Not a prime number.
Well, it's
just
for
the record.
Again.
It's not a prime number, just for the record. Just so nobody could mistake that for a prime number. It's not divisible by 3.
I wasn't listening. I was too busy trying to work out how to get the article up.
There we go.
What we're going to be talking about.
What, the Big Bang?
The Big Bang? Oh.
The cosmic background radiation of the universe.
No, that's just my picture on my second monitor.
Well, this will not do. You must get the actual thing up.
I know. This is what I was trying to figure out. Whenever see, it's the top monitor, right? And I'm looking at the fucking other one. I will fix.
I don't care. I really don't care. The important point is I'm taking a piss.
Hit fix now. Yes. There we go. This article. See, I fixed it.
Well done. You obtain 1 internet point.
Yay, internet points.
Achievement unlocked.
How the fuck do I hide this? I don't know how to hide this on my second monitor. It annoys me.
Deal with it.
Deal with it.
I don't know how it works. I don't know. So if I take
just press F11 and full screen the motherfucker.
But then you get confused.
Well, whatever.
Oh, I can just... Okay. We'll do it that way.
See?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, bow down and praise me. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Found this. Well, I like actually reading this. One Angry Gamer. It's quite good. Sometimes it's quite good.
Well, you are an angry gamer, so obviously you're part of his tribe.
Oh, definitely. He writes good articles himself. Some of them are shite. Some of them are okay, but I like most of them. So, and it's got nice, things. Just saying.
The advertisement.
I've not disabled it.
For the animes.
Exactly. It knows
audience.
Like it fucking knows its audience. Right. I'm just saying.
Well, they're autistic like you.
So ESA models gaming stats between male and female gaming demographics. See, I don't think that's not true. I think I will get into what I think after we've done, because this is a long article. So
get on with it then. Fucking hell, man.
Fucking you. Right. So the Entertainment Software Association released their 2017 study breaking down gaming demographics and market diversity. Yeah. They outline percentages of different demographics and what some of the most popular games are. However, they also take the opportunity to very much muddy the stats by failing to clarify. Hang on, this is just fucking hard to read up. I'm gonna take it down my monitor up there.
They need to clearly define the categories, how they reach their numbers, and categorical inclusion for their overall figures. In other words, they weren't very careful with their methodology, and therefore the results are suspect. That is essentially what I get from that.
Yeah, basically. So to clarify, inclusion of the overall, for instance, the one stat instantly stands out, and it's oftentimes repeated figure that shows that women over 18 game more than boys under 18. Anyone can tell you that's fucking not true. Like, if
Well, hang on. You say all women over the age of 18 game more than boys under the age of 18. Right.
Yes.
Well, I mean, what is the definition of more? You could say, well, there are more women. There are more women in total, so I might expect there are more women in general who gain than boys under 18, simply by the virtue of the fact there are fewer young people. That's a very large differential in the overall population of the people. I assume they're talking about the average amount of time spent, but I'm going to assume nothing, because apparently the point of this article is that they're fudging the numbers, or they're not very careful, or whatever. I'll let you continue.
Fucking sense. It's fucking retarded. So the average gamer is about 35, right? So there's
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, me too. Fucking love it. But that's when games started to become a thing, was our age, right? When we were wee.
Exactly.
Right? We were
in the 80s.
Yeah, that's when games started to become a thing. Like,
in the United Kingdom, as we discussed many times before, it was with the rise of the ZX Spectrum. In America, it's more the Nintendo Entertainment System. But regardless, we're talking mid-80s, really. That's when things started blowing up.
So, so I wouldn't be surprised that most of them are around that age. So the average female video game player is 37. The average male video game player is 33. Now, I don't believe that, because my mother could be a video game player. Well, if she was still alive, she used to play mobile phone games, right? Or, well, not really. It was like Snake or whatever. I don't see that as a fucking game.
I think pretty much everybody who's ever owned a mobile phone has played Snake. The Nokia 3310 was God for a while, as far as mobile phones are concerned.
Right, I wouldn't call that a fucking game. Do you see what I'm
saying? Oh, it's a game.
It's a game.
It's by all means.
It's not on the same level as console games.
Yeah, I'm not going to allow you to become all game snob. Right, you can have all that later. It's still a game. No. It's still a fucking game.
Listen, Snakes and Ladders is a game, and so is chess.
Snakes and Ladders is pure randomness. You don't need any humans. There is no decision making. The only decision making in Snakes and Ladders is whether you're going to roll the dice or not, or just say, well, fuck this bullshit. You cannot make any decisions in Snakes and Ladders, which is fundamentally why it's not a game. There is no decision to make other than, do you roll the dice or not?
It's a fucking board game. Right?
Well, any board game where you can make a decision. Monopoly, for example, you can decide whether or not to buy properties. That's a decision you can make. And there's a whole auction process. And so forth.
Anything they're calling, that's what I'm saying, anything that they're calling a video game, there's fundamentally different fucking types of video games. They're fundamentally different on a completely different level, right? So
absolutely, but I mean that's the question. You could say exactly the same things about film. The question is, are you trying to find out what people are moviegoers, or what people are moviegoers for comic book blockbusters or art house fucking French subtitled films or whatever, right? Now, obviously, if they're not breaking down those statistics, you're not going to have them. Now, if you wanted to create a narrative where like movies are more popular than ever because more people are watching summer blockbuster movies, well, actually people who would have gone to the movies before to watch a more diverse range of films are actually staying at home, and they're watching more television, because television has had a renaissance somewhat of drama, high quality drama and high production values in television. That would not be captured by such an analysis. It would just tell you one story, which is basically cinema is appealing to a lot of dumb people. And for example, the Chinese market that's risen up. Way off topic, but just to point out how, you know, you can get a very incomplete picture very easily by not looking at all the things that are surrounding a particular phenomenon, which I think is essentially the thrust of this article. Not that I've read all of it, but you have, so I would guess that's probably where this is going.
I actually haven't, because I knew what it was about.
You haven't?
No, I've been reading it the same as you guys, because I thought that was better for the show, so we can just...
Well, get on with it then.
Killer with the...
I don't give a fuck if you're completely dyslexic. I want you to read this all perfectly the first time.
Okay.
I will have no slackers.
So the average female video game player...
Actually, what you should do, Morn,
7.
press Control Plus a few times. Get that font size up.
You want that font size up?
Well, it's better for everyone. Control Plus it a few times.
I don't like it. He's fucking other screen as well. God.
Well, fuck, I don't care. It's just
When
what
it
I
goes
can
to
see
normal.
matters.
How do I know when it's
I
back
haven't
to
seen
normal?
any... Oh, fuck. I can't see anything going on in the screen you're actually presenting.
Well,
God damn
the
it, man.
screen looks fine to me. That he's presenting.
No, right.
It is fine, but I'm trying to think of our less able-bodied friends who are watching. I mean, they'll be listening later. I'm saying for people who are partially sighted, this is going to be much more difficult to read. So, my God, you are fucking ableist, aren't you? Fucking cunt.
Look,
Massive
look.
ableist. You couldn't even increase the font size to accommodate those with a little bit of... They can read a little bit, but only if the text is fucking massive, and you can't even manage that.
But
This
I
is
guess
disgusting. I hate you.
we don't need it though because Warren's reading it, so he reads it to them.
No, exactly. They don't need it.
It's therefore he's not, because I'm telling him why he should be doing better, and he's not. Morn, you've got to take control at some point.
Start reading, Warren.
This is going to go on forever. Get on with it.
The average female video gamer is 37. The average male video game player is 33. Women aged 18 and older represent a significantly greater proportion of the regular game playing population than boys under 18. There is an equal distribution of regular male players in age 35 and over 35. Of course, more women over 18 will play more games than boys under 18, given that there's more women over the age of 18 have access to smart devices than boys under 18. And given that women make up more than half of the mobile demographic when it comes to gaming, according to a report by Newzoo, in fact, according to the 2017 study by Pew Research, 70% on a smartphone. In a separate study in 2015, Pew Research noted that 47% of smartphone owners use the phone for gaming. Nearly half of all smartphone owners in the US game on their smart device, as noted in the Newzoo report.
You mean there's people who aren't gaming on their phones but have a smartphone but aren't gaming on it?
Listen, hang on.
Apparently.
Why don't they have anything on it?
Hang on. I've got a smart fucking phone, right? I don't fucking want it because games are fucking terrible because I'm a proper gamer. Games that I fundamentally...
I'm gonna have to disagree that they're terrible. There are a lot of terrible games.
No,
but then there are ones that are like fine and like are fun or whatever. Like
I'm not a game snob like you, so I play everything under the sun.
Yeah, like I've got 2 games on my mobile phone. I've only got 2 games on my mobile phone. I have Candy Crush Jelly that I can play so that I can ignore all my coworkers on my lunch break. And then I have Pokemon Go. And I love Pokemon Go. I think it's a great mobile game. I think it's fun.
Right, but no, my point is, right, there's maybe standout gems, right, but most of them on the fucking mobile phone are fucking awful, right? They're awful.
I'll agree that there are more horrible mobile games than there are like good ones. I would say most of them are not good.
It's probably, you see, this is one of those things where the Pareto principle comes into play, which is most of anything is terrible, right? Which is to say, most films are terrible, most books are terrible, most films are terrible, most games are terrible, right? But you only remember the ones that are really good. So this is where nostalgia comes into play, where you remember the phenomena of rose-tinted glasses, which is distance. You say, "Oh,
Well,
right,
I played a lot of different mobile games.
You wouldn't say if you excluded all mobile phone games, would you say 100% of all what you'd consider to be proper games are the best ever since sliced bread?
No, the mobile phone games are in a fucking awful category of their own. Even an awful game, see, it's still better than some of the medium games on a mobile phone. The controls are awful on mobile phones. I fucking hate touchscreen controls on a game. I
don't mind the touch screen.
Well, it really depends on what you're doing with it. If you're trying to make a game which requires you to have 20 different individual keys for inputs, and yes, of course, on a touchscreen it's going to be fucking horrible. That's a matter of using the interface in an appropriate manner, right? You're trying to cram something that's fundamental. That's the same, right? As one could argue that consoles are bad at FPS because a mouse is an inherently better and more accurate way of aiming in an FPS game, and yet consoles have FPS games on them.
Have you tried an FPS game?
The thing that mobile games
yes,
have.
I have tried FPS games on mobile. The point being, again, right? You can make the same argument. Yes, I quite like the idea of using, because what I played is quite a nice idea of using like the accelerometer to like do the aiming. That was quite natural. The problem is really when it comes to doing any of the other controls, because having the tap to move and so forth is a fucking arse. That's probably where someone like Pokemon Go gets it right, which is like, well, you are literally just walking around. That's how you interact with the world, right? You are literally pointing the phone. That makes sense. Essentially, it does require that you have things that are suitable for the device. As I say, I do remember the days, right, when FPS games are all on the keyboard. It wasn't until somebody decided, you know what, right, there's a better way of doing this. What you get off the cursor keys, go into WAS and D, right? It's in the same arrangement, so your fingers feel perfectly natural on the WASD as they do on the cursor keys. I mean, you can use that right hand for a fucking mouse, and people are like, my God, what genius came up with this? You gotta remember, there was a time before people played games that way, right? It wasn't like any of this shit was obvious.
Yeah, no, I know, because I remember playing games that were like that. For fuck's sake, there's not a proper mouse control in Doom if you install Doom. Like the old one. You would
what they used to do was you would press the middle mouse button and that would be forward, I believe, the default, because I had done that and it was just for turning. Which is actually, even for turning, it's a bit of an advantage. But yes, of course, that's the point. The point is, obviously, you've got different inputs work differently, and they do different things better than other inputs, which is something that I think a lot of people, some things are just better. It's one of those things. Some things are just better at doing certain things than other things. It's just an inevitable nature of the fact that they are different. It kind of states the obvious, which is different things are different.
The reason that Pokemon Go, I like it a lot, for example, is that the reason that for mobile games, the reason that Pokemon Go's I like it a lot is it's really different from a lot of other mobile games. I find that a lot of mobile games are the exact same. It's just we're gonna have different. Yeah, it was like unique or whatever. Whereas other mobile games,
any other games, I guess the precursor you could say maybe geocaching.
Yeah,
if you're aware of that.
The game that they used to kind of go off of from Pokemon Go, that I forget what it's called, but it was made by the same company or something. It's similar, But if, like, from what I've noticed, a lot of mobile games are the same. Like, I have, like, the Candy Crush. Well, what is that different from Bejeweled or whatever? You just kind of pick the aesthetic that you want, and it's, like, the same game. And so a lot of the mobile games have different aesthetics, but they're the same game. And why I think Pokemon Go worked out so well is because it was finally something different. Does that make sense?
There were 4 different Candy Crush games, I must point out. Candy Crush Jelly being the latest, Candy Crush Saga, of course, being the first.
Yeah,
Candy Crush Soda being the second.
I have Candy Crush Jelly because I like the aesthetics on that one the most. I just picked the one that I like the aesthetics on. But there's a lot of different kinds of, like, kind of Candy Crush, like, puzzle-y things. Like, it's kind of like Bejeweled a little bit and stuff. You kind of just pick your aesthetic for, like, what you like of that game. And I find that a lot of the mobile games are like that. And I wish they would come out with different kinds of games and not just different aesthetics for the same games. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. It is interesting, actually. I was just thinking about it. I mean, Candy Crush Jelly is exactly the sort of match-free game that you'd get on, say, the ZX Spectrum. So this is the sort of game you could have easily done 30-odd years ago. But I was thinking, actually, one of the hardest things about playing the certain modes, for example, the timed mode, would be on a ZX Spectrum, because you haven't got a touchscreen, unless you're using a light pen. I don't know how those things didn't ever work very fucking well anyway, right? You've got to move, say, I'm going to move this thing over here, right? Touchscreen, moving your finger is considerably quicker. In fact, that's part of the reason why there was a bit of a revelation when first touchscreens came out, because, oh, well, I don't have to navigate through menus with like a D-pad or on my Nokia or anything like this. I can just go and touch the motherfucker and it's done, right? That's why there are probably so many of that style of game, because that is essentially what a touchscreen does really fucking well, really well. Right, so it's probably not that surprising.
Yeah, but I feel like they could come up with different games instead of, like, the same one.
Probably, but there is a reason, for example, why. Well, at least in the past, maybe again in the future, the PC was the FPS king, right? Mouse and keyboard, couldn't beat it, right? Even today, it's a PC master race. Obviously, consoles are inferior at doing this sort of stuff.
Master race. I just a bid on a fucking Steam controller, so I'll be checking out when it comes through the post. I got it on eBay for like 27 quid or something.
Well, should be interesting. Steam control. I mean,
well, the Steam controller seemed interesting. I'm not paying 44 quid for a controller, so I thought, you know what, 25 quid, put a bid.
It's worth a punt.
Yeah, punted on it. I'll see what happens. I've actually got another bid on another one that was 20 quid as well. So hopefully I don't win them both. Or if I do, I'll just
take the cheaper one, obviously.
Yeah, well, I'll have to buy them both, won't I? Because that's how it works. And back on bids, right?
Anyway, I think possibly we may have got a bit off topic. Possibly.
But seemingly the Steam controller has touch, so still a touch.
Yeah, it's because it's like a touch. It's like two, instead of analog sticks, you have 2 touch pads effectively.
There's an analog stick as well.
Is there? I remember the last one. It was like basically where you put your, which seems fairly reasonable to me if you're trying to give a feel of a FPS. Although I have to say the best sort of mouse keyboard controller I ever had on the console was playing GoldenEye on the Wii, because the GoldenEye one you use the nunchuck and the Wiimote.
Yes.
And it was very natural for basically pointing at what the fuck you wanted to shoot and moving around with the nunchuck. That was completely natural. It's just as good as keyboard and mouse, right? Because you're just as quick, with even better maybe, because you've got a direct relationship between where you're pointing and what you're looking at on the screen. Yeah. So probably even better, really. But anyway, that's a whole other thing.
I don't like it. It's really dead. Like, you were on a console. It's quite good, and you were more sort of, your hand would be the aiming thing, and your movement would be on your left hand, or well,
yeah, that's the one.
It was the best first-person shooter experience that I've ever had on a console was definitely the Wii.
Yeah, it's a shame I haven't seen anything else come out of that because it just felt incredibly natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's my point. It's all controls, and most of the games that work good on a mobile phone are puzzle games. Now, the demographic.
Yeah, the puzzle games are fine, but like there are like they could have like a dynamic kind of old school game where you have like very simple controls or something, and like a nice story to go with it that like makes me immersed in this like world. That's what I want. That's what I want. Why is this not available on the mobile?
Again,
I would pay for it.
Yeah, I know.
Kind of like if you think about Undertale, like Undertale might work as like a mobile phone game almost.
Again,
it's not
that game. My point is that
I mean, like it's got like a story, an in-depth story, and characters and stuff.
I know.
Like they could have that and apply it to the mobile game.
But listen, right?
What do you want?
All the games you're talking about, right? Puzzle games. Women like them more than men.
It's absolutely true. My mother, this is going back on my ZX Spectrum, so that's a long time ago. She loved playing this game, which came with a cover tape of one of the magazines at the time, which was Sinclair User. It was a game called Twins. It was in fact one of their cover tape prize games. Now, the way that worked was essentially there was a cryptic clue in the magazine, or you could phone up the number to get the password to this thing. Or you could wait and buy the magazine next month to get the password for the previous month, which is quite an interesting way of doing things, quite honestly. I've never seen anything like it subsequently. But basically, Twins is you pick two things, and if they match, then they match, and if they don't match, they go away. And it's a memory game, right? You got the grids, you have to remember where the shit is, and you have to pick out all the pairs. Right, but she fucking loved that thing. Like, and when I got my first PC, it was with Windows, which was a 286, IBM PS2. It was an ex-Office one, and that had Solitaire on that. All right.
Yeah.
But as you say, that's the basic point. More. That's my mother. She would have been in her like mid-30s at the time. That's the kind of game she liked to play. It's not that she didn't like computers. Completely different story with my sister, because I gave her my old PCs. I got her into Doom and Duke Nukem and stuff like that. So now she plays Halo on an Xbox. So there you are.
Proper games. No, but that's what I mean.
Well, exactly. I knew you would say that.
Well, I think Undertale has puzzles in it or whatever as well. I have never played it, but
it does. I've heard of it a lot.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Can we listen to your daughter, not you? She obviously knows what she's talking about.
Well, I haven't played the game. I just like heard about it and stuff. But anyways, what I'm just saying is that you could have like, it doesn't seem like any of the mobile games or any of the ones that I played really have like a dynamic story or characters or any, and I think that could be applied to mobile games.
As far as I can see, most of them are essentially designed to really throwaway games is the best way of describing it. Really,
like I'll get bored with it in like a couple months and be like, done.
Well, exactly.
But then I don't spend money on those ones. Like Pokemon Go, I've actually spent money on because I like it. I still play it. I didn't play it as much during the winter for obvious reasons. It was way too cold, and I have actually spent money on it. So if you can get me to keep a game for like long term that I'm going to be invested in, I'll spend money on it. So I feel like if they had a game with dynamic characters and stuff, I would actually buy that game or spend money in the game or whatever.
You know what?
That if I could keep it longer.
I'd be surprised if somebody hasn't done a MUD for mobile phones, because it makes perfect sense. I don't know if you know what a MUD is.
No.
But MUD is a multi-user dungeon, and these are like back in the early days when like people had more. I mean, not the general public, but people at universities were like, "All right, we got all these network PCs," and people would. I can't remember who it was. You'll be able to find out all of that out there. But essentially, it's like a text adventure game, but you've got multiple users all going through this procedurally generated dungeon. So, hence multi-user dungeon, right? And I've seen web versions of this, and where like you like just basically the software, install that, it's like go for your CGI, and it's right. You've got a multi-user dungeon, right? That would make perfect sense in a mobile game. There probably are similar things because I mean, obviously your mobile phone has all the benefits of the fact that you can get all your notifications and stuff and activities and all that sort of shit. I'm actually surprised I haven't seen more stuff like that. I don't know if Pokemon Go has some aspects of that with the gym fights, I believe, and such. But yes, I'm surprised there aren't more things like that. One of those other ironic
as soon as
Pokemon
Go came out, other copycats came out, but I haven't played any of the copycats. Yeah, most of them look horrible, but I haven't played any of the copycats already.
Nice.
But
anyway, it's time to get the reviews. I'm going to go on with this article, but if I delete the episodes like last week.
You deleted all of them? All of them?
No, just last week's episode. I deleted it by mistake.
Well, of course you did.
That's it.
Was there not just libel in there or something you had to get away from? Are you sure?
So anyway,
last week was the most libelous episode ever, so you should make sure you keep your own recording of every single show, just in case. So if you ever want to sue Mournblade, you know where to go.
Yeah, fuck you.
Right? Can't trust him. Can't fucking trust a cat. That's the first rule of cats. Can't trust them.
So it's time to say bye to YouTube. You can find us on aerithradio.co.uk, where we'll go on with this article. If you want,
we have an opportunity to catch a cat in a trap of his own making, and sue him. So that's why you have to watch. There's money to be made, glorious prizes for giving up the cat to the authorities. You just have to get him in a loop he cannot escape, because that loop is also a noose. That noose is also around his neck.
Right. So this article, if you want to look it up yourself, is on www.oneangrygamer.net, and it is the ESA models gaming stats between male and female gaming demographics. That's the article. So if you can look up the article yourself and read it, it's quite in depth. It's fucking huge. We'll go through some of it, but I don't think we'll finish it all because it's huge, and we're not. I think this will be the show, pretty much. Going by the way it's going. So anyway, yes. So bye YouTube's. Over to aerithradio.co.uk. Fucking in the UK, of course. I mean, there's a chat thing in the website as well. You hit the chat button at the chat.
Or if you shout loud enough, he'll be able to hear you. It'd have to be pretty loud, probably, though.
Yeah, I forgot about the chat because no one uses it, so I keep forgetting. I'll need to get that up. I have it up now. Anyway, fucking bye, YouTube.